Charles III the best of days on his coronation, and to say how I have always appreciated the kindness and support he gave my father during the time of my mother's house arrest, when my father was dying of cancer and not allowed to visit her. Whilst I send him my warmest regards and best wishes on this most auspicious of days, and I know my mother would be here today to honour this occasion, my mother and the people of Burma must always come foremost in my thoughts. And today is a good example of the need to always persevere. There will always be other events on the world stage that overshadow the tragedy that is playing out in Burma. It is now over 2 years since the military coup in Burma. The country is in the grip of civil war, and countless brutal and unjust acts are being perpetrated by the military every day. My mother, like so many others, is being held in prison under completely fraudulent charges. Although this is not the first time she has been unjustly incarcerated. In the past, the military leadership would sometimes see that she was given some contact with her family. This time, any request I have made for contact or news of her conditions or whereabouts have been met with no response. These and other basic human rights are being denied her and so many others. Whilst I have no contact with her, I am aware she is being kept apart from the other prisoners. This is essentially solitary confinement and not any sort of preferential treatment. Her principles are such that she will not, for example, accept air conditioning in her cell unless all the prisoners are provided with the same. And despite her strength and resilience, I worry about the conditions she is held in now. Since the persecution of the Rohingya by the military, my mother's image has become tarnished in the wider world. People have been led to believe that she is somehow accountable for the atrocities committed by the military. This is simply not the case, and I urge people who actually care to educate themselves and others by looking back at her life's work and reading her writings before being influenced by sensationalist journalism that does not reflect the delicacy of the situation in Burma and can have a detrimental effect, which has been made evident since the coup. Whilst the rest of the world have seemingly forgotten my mother and the situation in Burma, I know there are many people around the world who are doing their best to help and support them in these most difficult times. There are also many Burmese communities around the world, including all those gathering today, who are continuously striving for the freedom and well-being of their people. I know the people of Burma are still in complete support of my mother and the realisation of their continued desire for democracy in their country. It is still my hope and belief that this war can be concluded soon and without too much further bloodshed. I may be biased, but I believe my mother is one of the few people who can ensure that there is a fair and just reconciliation process so that the country can begin to heal. The military will not win this war on their own people. It is only a question of how long the fighting has to go on for, since the people will never accept their dictatorship. The military need to release my mother and all political prisoners and reinstate the democratically elected government in order for peace and development in Burma to resume. Thank you.